what it would be like to grow your own food, sew your own clothes, bake your own bread. Today I'm going to tell you why you should be practicing some form of sustainability and, in particular, gardening. Growing up in a small rural town, my mother gardened every summer, and it was my chore to help take care of that garden and water that garden and harvest those vegetables. And at the time, I absolutely hated it. It was the last thing I wanted to do on my summer vacation. But as I grow up, I've come to appreciate that experience, and I now garden every summer myself. And each year, my knowledge and experience grows. I'm hoping I'm going to give you an overview of why you should practice sustainability, the fact that you need food, how you can fulfill that need by growing your own garden, and how you can go out today and start your very own vegetable garden and be sustainable. Let's dive into sustainability. What is sustainability? According to the EPA's website, sustainability is everything that we need for our survival and our well being depends either directly or indirectly on our natural environment. But for me, sustainability is the ability and knowledge to be self sufficient in certain aspects of my daily life, for example, growing and raising my own food. Why sustainability? I'm sure you're asking yourself, but why does this person want to do these things, which is simply go to the grocery store and buy her own vegetables? The answer is knowledge, accomplishment, and pride, and having an appreciation for what our environment and earth has to offer. How to be sustainable. It's much easier than you think, and one example is growing a vegetable garden. So that's food, right? Everyone loves food. Everyone needs food. Everyone needs food to nourish their bodies and sustain life. And especially during these times of the coronavirus pandemic and sheltering in place, it's impacted like even the simplest tasks of our daily life, like going to the grocery store. I mean, it's no longer a quick trip to the grocery store. You have to plan ahead, wait in lines, order online, and then once you've done all those things, come to find out all the necessities or what necessities you need may be out of stock. So just think about how much easier these current circumstances would be if you had the knowledge and ability to grow your own garden and produce your own food. So now I'm going to tell you how you can avoid the hassle of the no longer quick trip to the grocery store. And in fulfilling that need for the food is by growing your own garden. And you can easily do this by growing a vegetable garden in addition to fulfilling your need for food. There's many benefits, like health benefits. And according to an online blog from 2012 from the Harvard Health Publishing, growing your own garden gives you more direct access to fruits and vegetables, so you're going to eat more fruits and vegetables. Also, they're freshly ripened, and freshly ripened fruits and vegetables are higher in nutrients versus what you buy in the store, because that's harvested at a much earlier time to get it into the grocery stores for you to enjoy before it goes bad. So it doesn't contain the nutrients that the vegetables that you would grow in your own garden would have. It also saves you a lot of money, and of course it's going to save you a lot of unnecessary trips to the grocery store, especially during right now when you're trying to shelter in place. And not only all those things, it contributes to sustainability. So I'm sure you're thinking, what does this garden look like? What is she talking about? The amount of vegetables that you can produce by growing a garden can sustain you for a minimum of 3 months, depending on the types of vegetables that you grow. And there's great information that can be found on the website Better Homes and Gardens. In their article, Beginner Vegetable Garden Made Easy, they state that one vegetable plant that costs only $3 to $5 will produce 10 pounds of tomatoes. I mean, that's a lot. So you can also plant a winter garden, and there's lots of different types of vegetables you can grow. And if you do that, then you have the ability to sustain yourself all year long. You can find examples of winter hardy vegetables online at hdgtv.com in their article Winter Vegetable Garden. They suggest to plant things such as broccoli, kale, carrots, Brussels sprouts. And to give you a visual, my garden is right here behind us. Hopefully you can see it. And I have planted 4 tomato plants, which are 2 different varieties, jalapenos, squash, zucchini, cantaloupe, cucumbers. I have 2 rows of corn, some cabbage, and some lettuce in there, and that's enough vegetables to sustain 3 households as well from June to October. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot right there. So now let's get planning. Now that you have the time, now that you have the time to do your part in becoming sustainable, grow your own vegetable garden or vegetable plant. Start by going to your local nursery. You want to pick out your vegetable plant. My recommendation would be to start with a tomato or zucchini plant if you have the space. And there's a great publication called the Old Farmer's Almanac that's been around for decades, and they offer some great tips for beginners. They say to choose a spot to plant that receives at least 6 hours of sunlight and plant in a soil that is well drained and moist. Uh, Keeping these tips in mind, you'll want to start by growing your plant in a large pot or raised bed with nitrogen rich soil. Using this technique for your first garden helps you to better understand the amount of water that is needed, as well as helping you control the nutrients that are in the soil. And so once your plant has been planted and it's been established, um, continued care is just to remember to water daily, and especially here in the valley when it gets really hot in the summer, you're most likely going to water in the morning and at night. And then also once your plant begins to produce fruit, you want to pay close attention to that plant, because now you need to start harvesting the fruits of your labor. And if you don't pay close attention, it'll rot on the plant, or it'll overgrow, and it doesn't taste that great when it overgrows. And now, growing a garden is as simple as that. So, to recap, you should practice sustainability, the fact that you have a need for food, and how you can fulfill that need by growing a garden, and how you can go out today and grow your very first vegetable plant and be sustainable. So, I encourage you all, especially during this time when you're stuck at home, to go out to your local nurseries, buy a plant, give it some water, a little sun, soil. You'd be surprised at what you accomplish.